As we've been reporting this morning, eligible victims of the infected blood scandal and their families will receive payments of up to £100,000 today from the government. But some bereaved families will receive nothing. Well, I'm joined now by Michelle Tolley, who was infected with a life-threatening disease when she had a blood transfusion in the 1980s. So, Michelle Tolley, thanks so much for talking to us this morning. We really appreciate it. Tell us a little bit more about your experience and what happened to you.
OK, well, I received a blood transfusion in 1987 after the birth of our first son. Unfortunately, in that blood transfusion was hepatitis C. That was in 1987. I wasn't diagnosed until the end of 2015. So I've campaigned since I've been infected to reach out to find those people that are still infected out there and to help call on for this inquiry that's now sort of coming to a close.
Well, yes, and tell us a little bit about, will you receive compensation yourself? Are you eligible under this scheme?
Yes, I'm one of the beneficiaries that are eligible. There are only two sets of beneficiaries eligible at the moment. That's for the people infected like myself and for the bereaved partners, widows, widowers and partners of the people that have tragically died and lost their lives to this horrific injustice that's happened to us all. I'd like to say that this is only an interim compensation payment, and we're waiting for Sir Brian Langstaff's full report that we're looking forward to, that it will be coming in next summer. In that, we want included the people, the cohorts of people that are not included this time round. So people that was infected post-1991. There are people out there that still receive contaminated blood that are not aware of that. People that lost, sadly and tragically lost their children to hepatitis C, HIV and other pathogens. For the children that lost their parents, there's people who self-cleared hepatitis C that are not entitled to anything, although they was infected by the contaminated blood. And there's the people whose medical records that we destroyed, and as we've been hearing over the time from the inquiry, that have accidentally gone missing. So there are lots and lots of people today that will not be receiving that money. But I, for one, and I know a lot of our fellow campaigners, whether we've received this interim compensation or not, we will not stop fighting and campaigning until everybody is included in these schemes, because basically this should never have happened. We should never have been given a death sentence for committing no crimes.
And the government does say that the interim compensation payments, they say that they meet the recommendations set out by Sir Brian Langstaff's interim report in full, but there is more work to be done. They're looking at broader eligibility recommendations made by Sir Robert Francis QC. Do you accept that the right kind of work is being done to make sure that everybody who should be compensated is?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're working hard now on submissions, ready to go in, ready, for Sir Brian to write his report. So there's still a lot of work to be done. This is the first stage. For me, it shows finally that the government are beginning to realise what a historic tragedy has happened and why thousands of people that have died have never received a penny. It's so wrong. But I always try to leave things on a positive. It's a positive step forward from the government to call it interim compensation. At the end of the day, they've got a duty of care. They need to look after their people that were contaminated. People's lives were damaged, lives lost. Those lives, no amount of money can bring those lives lost. £100,000 might sound a lot of money, but for me, when you divide that by my 35 years and contamination, it really is pennies. It really is. It's just nothing. Sorry.
No, I was only going to say, I know that you're so keen to make sure that everybody else receives compensation like you, and that's your main message today. But I am interested to hear what it means to you to receive a payment after, as you say, 35 years of having been infected as you have.
Do you know, at this moment in time, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really feel anything. It's been a long fight, and although I've only been in this for 7 years. You know, there's campaigners that have been doing this for 30 years plus, and I really take my hat off and thank them for putting the hard work in at the beginning. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. It can't bring back, it will never reverse the damage to my body that's been caused. So it's a bit surreal. It's something that definitely never going to happen. It's been an inquiry, you know, we've campaigned so hard. People have died while they're campaigning. One person is still dying every 96 hours. You know, that hasn't stopped. So will I be around by the end when the final compensation comes? Who knows? I've been left with liver cirrhosis, so I'm a potential candidate to get liver cancer.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. So good to hear from you, but we're just about to fall off air, so I have to wrap it up. Michelle Tolley, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.